everyone, and welcome to our red carpet edition of the Monday Huddle. You guys, I am so excited you are here, and I'm going to explain in a little bit why we're calling today's episode our red carpet edition. But before I do, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Dawn, CEO and founder of Dr. Dawn Shop Talk, and I'm so excited that you're joining us here on this Monday. For those of you who have followed our show for a little bit, you know I am crazy about a Monday because I think Monday has gotten a really bad rap. In fact, the Monday Huddle is a strategy I've used with my own staff for years because I believe that if you can change your attitude about a Monday, you really could change your life because Monday is the beginning of your new week. So here at Shop Talk, I hope that you will become part of our Monday revolution by joining us each and every Monday for your free tips for the week. And if you do that, I believe you'll start seeing Monday for what I think it really can be, a fresh start and a new beginning. Now, remember, you guys, we want you to be able to join us on your lunch hour when you can. So usually I go over maybe 3 tips in each huddle. Because again, we want you to have a great attitude about your Monday. And just as you can see as it's scrolling across your screen there at the bottom, okay, Monday, we've got this, right? So we want you to have that kind of attitude. So if you go to our website, that's where we could get actually a little bit more in depth because the huddle is kind of a small taste of what we could cover in our packages and our presentations. And at Shop Talk, we specialize in career and life coaching, resume reboots, and career confidence boot camps. We also offer corporate training and presentations to businesses and school districts. So if you check out our website at drdawnshoptalk.com, that's where you'll see all the services that we provide. And like I mentioned, we can get much more in depth with you and customize a package for you. Now, a lot of career and life coaches might offer a 15 or 20-minute consultation. You guys, I think it's really important to offer a 30-minute consultation. This is free of charge. You don't have to buy any of our services or products because I think we need that kind of time to really be able to discuss whether or not our services would be a good fit for you. So reach out to me on Facebook or on our website, and I would love to work with you. All right, you guys, it is now time to get started with our red carpet edition of the Monday Huddle. I am calling this Say No to the Naysayers, Successful People Who've Made It Big Despite the Critics. And you guys, we're considering this our celebrity edition, and let me explain to you why. That's going to explain kind of our red carpet theme. All right, I personally believe that celebrities can serve as a really good example of folks that listen to their inner voice and pursue their dreams despite the critics. One of a great example, I think, of this is the fact that we have so many different successful people in the entertainment industry that have done just that. So we are really excited here at Shop Talk to share these examples with you because I want you to step out on that red carpet. I want you to awaken that inner star and understand that even if you get criticism, and oftentimes this is coming from family and friends, do they want to torture you? No. It's usually because they just are worried about you. They love you and they want to protect you. But keep in mind, you guys, that negativity is often fear-based. So even though your family and friends might be trying to protect you because you're taking a risk, understand that their fears might be warranted, but not always. So really start listening to your inner voice. Understand that criticism is good. I'm not saying you never need to listen to constructive criticism, but just keep in mind that the fears of your family and friends don't necessarily need to become your fears. And that's how come I think celebrities are wonderful examples, because everything they do, you guys, is criticized and critiqued, whether it's publicly or on social media. Whether you're an actor or a singer or an entertainer, everything they do is critiqued like no other industry. This is very near and dear to my heart because I have an amazing brother who has been successful in the entertainment business for a number of years. And I found out through him that this kind of industry, the entertainment industry, is one of the few where it really is legal to criticize someone to the nth degree. Do you know that because, let's take movies, for example, In the movie industry, if they want to cast a particular part and that person has to be a certain age and have a certain look, this is one of the few industries out there where you can actually legally say, oh, you're too tall, you're too short, you're too skinny, you're too fat. You can say that. Why? Because again, they want to cast a particular part and share a story. So as a result, I think actors and singers and entertainers have developed a thick skin. And if they're successful, they have wonderful stories of how listening to their inner voice has really helped them thrive in spite all of the criticism. And as the world faces this world pandemic, I think we need a little positivity and to remember that if we listen to that inner voice, we can really achieve our dreams. And sometimes those dreams can be even bigger than we ever imagined. All right, you guys, you know that I absolutely love co-hosting the Monday Huddle. So with no further ado, I want to welcome my favorite co-host and my dear friend to the Monday Huddle, who's joined us right here in our online studio, Michelle Williamson Hill, CEO and founder of Southern Inspirations, and my dear friend. Hi, Michelle. How excited are you to have this red carpet edition of the Monday Huddle?
Hey, Dawn, I'm very excited. Monday and red carpet, like all together. Let's do this, as your ticker always says on the bottom. You got this, right?
Absolutely. We have this, Michelle. I'm excited to share these 3 tips and get right to it with our examples. And I think you're really going to enjoy some of the quotes and extra information I have to share with you, Michelle. Now, before we do, Michelle, I'm going to switch some information and I'm going to switch our background because Michelle and I do believe, you guys, that each and every one of you can awaken your inner star. That's what today's show is all about. So as they say in the movie industry, ready, set, action. Okay. So Michelle, I'm going to put back up there for our background this beautiful thing that I think is just, do you feel, I feel fancy. I really feel fancy.
I mean, we are literally on the red carpet right now.
That's right. With our matching red earrings, of course.
Yes,
right, Michelle? Right. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and get started with tip number 1. This one I'm calling an emotional connection can serve you well. And we are going to use Oprah Winfrey as a wonderful example. So you guys, let me share some information with you about my girl, Oprah. All right, you guys, many of you may not know that Oprah Winfrey was actually once fired as an evening reporter because her producer said that she was too emotional and was not a good fit for television. Can you imagine? Now, guys, this is what I say about that. Had Oprah listened to that critic and had decided to get out of the TV business, not only would we have missed the great contribution I believe she's made, but I also would venture to say that the very quality she was criticized for actually served her very well. And in fact, I believe made her talk show so distinctive that it really made her stand out and was the stepping stone for her to become so successful. And if you guys don't know this about Oprah, she is one of the most successful and powerful TV influencers actually of all time. So what do you think about that first tip, Michelle?
I love it because, there will always be critics, always. There's always the naysayers. And so we have to be in that healthy place of confidence, which that's another topic for another that we've actually discussed before. But we have to have that ability, Dawn, to tune out those. When we know that we have a calling or a desire or an idea that is birthed inside of us, that we know we are called to move forward with great passion and pursue, we have to almost prime ourselves, if you will. We have to get ourselves ready in knowing that that critic is going to come, but have those inner conversations that helps that star that you refer to, the star that is in there, to shine regardless of those who speak negative into our lives. So I love that one. Oprah's a great example.
I think she's a terrific example. Absolutely, Michelle. And I couldn't really say it any better, right? Because you're always going to get those critics. Michelle is right. No matter what you choose to do, you could be the most famous, successful person, and you could love this person so much, have just seen a movie with this person. You think that is the best acting you've ever seen in your whole life. And the person sitting next to you goes, I didn't think it was all that great. Right? So that's what's crazy about it, you guys. And that's why I'm excited to share the tips with you today and to use examples of people who've made it and made it big, right? Folks that continue to just work hard and follow their dreams. All right, you guys, let's take a look at this second tip. I think you're really going to enjoy this one as well. And I've got a couple of examples on this one. Tip number 2, I'm calling your uniqueness is your brand. Okay, let me talk a little bit more about that with you guys today. We're going to start with Walt Disney. Did you guys know that Walt Disney was fired from the Kansas City Star? And I want to make sure I get this right, so I'm going to read this part to you. He was fired because he, quote, lacked imagination and had no good ideas, according to his editor. Can you imagine, you guys, if Walt Disney had listened to this editor, not only would we not have Disneyland, Disney World, and Mickey Mouse, we would be without Mickey Mouse. But then think about all of the movies and cartoons and films, right? That families, not just in the United States, but families all across the world would never have been able to enjoy. So that's one example. Walt Disney being told that he lacked imagination, had no good ideas. What do you think about that one before we get to Marilyn Monroe, Michelle?
Oh my goodness.
Crazy?
This one of the 3 tips is my favorite because it just screams authenticity and being genuine. And I love that, just your little line there that says your uniqueness is your brand. So that's what makes people want and desire the thing. Like for instance, Walt Disney, again, being a great example. Oh my goodness, the world would have missed out on so much. But because his idea was so unique, so different, oh gosh, look, we can't say enough about obviously the success speaks for itself, and his persistence and that is key right there. But it goes back
Absolutely.
owning your uniqueness and just stepping into that. So I absolutely, we could spend the whole 30 minutes talking about this one because I just think
absolutely
it's a great tip.
What was interesting also about Walt Disney, Michelle, is that he had such a work ethic reputation. Before he opened Disneyland the first day, and Disneyland predates Disney World. Disneyland's the one in California. And he was such a dedicated CEO in terms of no job was beneath him. And he really believed that wherever he opened his first park, that the whole experience on the way to the park needed to be special. So there's reports of him emptying trash cans, cleaning up the neighborhood that led right up to the entrance of the park. He did all of that because he knew what he had was unique. He didn't listen to people who thought he didn't have any good ideas, and he pursued it. And as Michelle pointed out, look at just all the success really does speak for itself. All right, you guys, we're going to talk a little bit about Marilyn Monroe, and then I've got another story I want to share. Michelle doesn't even know this one, so I can't wait to share this. All right, you guys, again, I'm going to read this so I can get this right about our girl, Marilyn. Marilyn Monroe was once told by a modeling agency that she, quote, should consider becoming a secretary. From a modeling agency, you guys. She also was told that she was too fat. And if you've seen Marilyn Monroe's pictures and videos, she was in a time period where you were supposed to be curvaceous, and she was still told that. So you guys, if she had let these modeling agencies make her feel like she wasn't beautiful, didn't have any talent to share, again, her uniqueness, her look, her voice, her style, that is what made her so famous. And again, she pursued it. She worked hard. Now, I've got this great story to share about her uniqueness and her belief in herself. Because oftentimes, I think with celebrities, especially like Marilyn, who met a tragic end, we think about kind of what happens later. We don't realize and remember the amazing start they had. So I want to go back to a more positive time. And my family shared this story with me, my dad. So I'm really excited to share this. Okay. My dad, when he lived in New York City, ended up becoming friends with a very well-known photographer. Okay. This was the father of one of his friends. And this photographer was so well known that the studio gave him, his own gopher, right? Somebody who would run errands or drive him from appointment to appointment. When Marilyn Monroe was first starting out, you guys, just like anybody else starting out in an industry, they're willing to kind of start at the beginning. So they're willing to get the cup of coffee. They're willing to drive you to the appointment. You guys, Marilyn Monroe ended up being his driver for a little while when she first started. And because he was so kind to her, she requested him when she made it big in her career. She requested him, and he is the photographer that took her most famous pictures, including the one, Michelle, that everybody talks about with the skirt.
Oh, yeah.
That was him. That was him. Can you believe that?
Wow, how very cool.
What's also kind of cool about that story is at the same time that Marilyn Monroe was becoming famous, Elizabeth Taylor was already a famous star. Elizabeth Taylor was filming the movie Cleopatra. The same photographer that I just talked about took pictures and video of Elizabeth Taylor. My dad's sister has a dress for when she was a baby that Elizabeth Taylor picked out for her because the photographer didn't know what dress to pick out for the baby and asked her to do that. And the same photographer, Michelle, I was actually trying to find this picture because I'm filming today from my parents' office. We looked everywhere last night because we have a picture. I wanted to share this picture with our audience. I have a picture that photographer took of me when I was little, and it's a picture of me between my two parents. I'm kind of hugging them. So I've got my dad on one side, my mom on the other, and the same photographer that took Marilyn Monroe's famous pictures and Elizabeth Taylor took a picture of yours truly. Okay?
Wow.
So there is my little brush with fame. That's all I got, y'all. That's all I got. But still, okay?
That is a fabulous story. I love it.
Isn't that wonderful? So you guys, I posted this on Facebook. So just like my dad shared this story to our audience members out there, be sure to share this video if you like the content we're discussing today. Like it, make comments, because it's definitely something that we can always address. And if we can share your comments live and give you a shout out, we will. If not, we'll catch you next time. So really appreciate all your support, you guys. We really, really do. All right, Michelle, we're going to move on to tip number 3. And on this one, I'm going to use Michael Jordan and Stephen King as some examples. Okay, this one's called Mistakes Made equals lessons learned. All right, you guys, I'm going to start with Michael Jordan. So let's talk a little bit about that. All right, most of you know this story. Michael Jordan, when he played basketball for his 9th grade high school basketball team, he was actually let go. He didn't even make it very far because his 9th grade coach actually cut him from the team. You guys, this is an NBA champion that most people would say was the best basketball player of all time. So imagine that. I mean, he's been in the Hall of Fame. You guys know Michael Jordan. Imagine if he did not believe in his own abilities. Now, he's the first to admit that he's made plenty of mistakes. He's missed plenty of shots. But if he didn't believe he could do it, he never would have pursued his career in basketball. Michelle, what do you think about that one? I mean, is that insane?
Wow. Yeah, that's just nothing except incredible. I mean, just And what would we do without Michael Jordan?
Exactly. I mean, we're not even talking about the Air Jordans, right? That's a whole other business.
Oh my goodness, exactly. Yeah. Oh, wow.
So in fact, I'm going to, in a little bit, there's a quote that I'm going to read from Michael Jordan that's really amazing. I'm going to share that with you guys in just a minute. But I first want to share the story about Stephen King. Now, many of you know Stephen King, his books, his movies, and you kind of have to like scary movies. I get a little scared, so I can't say that I've seen every Stephen King movie because it's probably a little scary for me. But let me share with you the story of his first book, And most people would say he was most well renowned for this. And I'm talking about the book that became a really well-known movie, and that's called Carrie. Okay, the movie Carrie. I think Sissy Spacek, starred in that, right? So the book Carrie had been rejected over 30 times, according to this article. His book
Wow.
had been rejected over 30 times. He was so frustrated because, again, you guys, this was his first book. He wasn't famous. He literally threw it out in the trash. And his wife went out to the trash can, retrieved the book, and there's stories that either she submitted it for him or at the very least, according to this article, she convinced him to resubmit it. And the time that he did, right after that,
Wow.
finally a publisher recognized its value and published it. And then his career took off after that. What do you think about that one, Michelle? Can you imagine being rejected that often and still believing you can do it?
Exactly. That's a lot. And wow, thank goodness for the wife who went digging through the trash to get it out of there.
Exactly.
You never know if one more time might be the time. If one more effort might be the win. If one more knock on the door might be a yes, so to speak. I always like to say, and coming from a background of sales, most of my career, I always say that the more no's I get, the closer I am to a yes. Because there's a out there. So
absolutely,
you never know when you're one knock away, one submission away, one attempt away from your yes. I love it.
That you're spot on. And on the way to that yes, right, Michelle, it also gives you an opportunity to really kind of perfect whatever that idea is, or what you're trying to provide. So it's never a waste of time. We have a lot of examples all throughout history, some great inventors that often will say that, every rejection, every no got them closer, right, to that goal. And many times they would, and I'm just paraphrasing here, they would say that they didn't lose 1,000 times. It's just those 1,000 times got them closer to getting it right the next time. So they found out all these ways it won't work. Here's the way.
Exactly.
Right. So if you kind of have that attitude, it really is the best way to perceive that. I agree. Absolutely, Michelle. Okay, here's that quote. And I want to kind of sum up tip number 3 this way. And I also want to point out one more thing about Stephen King's wife. I think that's a beautiful example, you guys, of how important it is to surround yourself with the right people, whether it's a spouse or a friend. Isn't it just beautiful when your loved ones can see potential in you and what you're doing that sometimes we can't see ourselves? Right. So I think that's just a great example of even when you have given up, that if you're surrounding yourself with the right people, they're going to have faith in you even when you lose your faith. So you guys, whether it's a coach that thinks you made too many mistakes that you're not going to make the team, or a publisher that doesn't really see your true potential, be sure to say no to the naysayers and follow your own path. Now, we're going to end tip number 3 with one of my favorite quotes. And again, I want to make this right, so I'm going to read this to you. Jordan once said, quote, "I have missed over 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. And on 26 occasions, I have been entrusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed."
Oh,
wow. Is that great? Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Michael. So you guys, yes, it just goes to show you that you just have to have that confidence. Keep going for your dreams. Say no to those naysayers out there, right? And you just don't know how big your dreams can become. And many celebrities have been interviewed and have often said, not only did they achieve their goal, Michelle, but because they kept the faith, many times their dreams were even bigger than they ever imagined. How great is that?
Oh, it's fabulous. Absolutely.
All right, you guys, I want to remind you that you can find today's episode and actually all of our episodes on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. So be sure to check that out. We do air each and every Monday at 12 noon Central Standard Time. Now, we are going to take a short break because, as many of you know, next Monday is Labor Day. So we are going to be taking a short break, right, Michelle? Because we want to enjoy our Labor Day.
That's right.
And we want everybody else to enjoy their Labor Day too. So we are going to take a short break then. So our next episode, actually, of the Monday Huddle is going to air on September 14th. So you guys, on behalf of Michelle and I, we want to wish you a very happy rest of your Monday. Michelle, did you have anything else that you wanted to add to today's episode?
I don't think so. Just one last comment to just stay true to yourself and pursue your dreams with all your might because you never know what might happen.
I love that, Michelle. Thank you so much for that. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your Monday. Stay safe out there, and we will see you again on the 14th for the next episode of the Monday Huddle. Take care, everyone, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.